As the caravanning summer season moves towards autumn and winter, you might have thought, oh dear, that bed's a little bit hard, or that seat was really too soft. Now don't worry about that, because during the winter, the companies that manufacture the seating and all the items in a caravan, the upholstery companies, offer services to caravanners like you, like me, whereby the foam is altered. It may be replaced, it might be amended, it might be added to. But we need to know what we're asking them to do. We're asking for a type of foam. And look, there are three sorts. There's soft foam, which is normally used in backrests, like this. Because it's soft, simply because as you lean back, you don't impose as much weight as you would on a seat that you sit on. Foam comes in different grades, just like humans do. And we all have different weights. Then there's a medium foam, which is typically used for a child's mattress. I had this one made for a caravanning project once, and this is a medium foam. You will also notice that it opens, so let me just chuck in another technical term. That's called a split folder. One moment it's a seat back, the next moment it's a bed for a child. Then, of course, there's the firm foam, which is used for seats and adult beds. Here's a sample here, and it really is quite firm. Sometimes you want actually a mix. You think, yes, I'm not entirely sure that I want to change hugely. Now, I don't have one that's a true mix, but you can see here that this has three layers. There's the foam, and there's a wrap which really isn't a foam and won't alter it particularly, but it proves the point that you could have a mixture. Why is this here? Well, it's to just smooth over the edges and make it more curvy, rather than the angularity which you see on this product, where it really is sharp at the edges. Of course, thickness is another issue, and I've got a tape measure, and I can say that this one, for instance, here, let's just check the width. Oh, it's a mere 3 inches, 75 millimeters if you prefer. And of course that doubles up when it's used as a seat. This one is fairly thick, and more caravans are actually fitting this type. And it's, yeah, golly, jeepers, it's nearly 6 inches, that's 150 millimeters. And did you notice this little curve at the front here? This is called a knee roll. Sometimes knee rolls are nice for the support behind your knees. When you make them up into a bed, they're not quite so good. And that's why on this example here, I decided on another project that I wouldn't have a knee roll at all. Now, while you're looking at this one, you'll notice that it has buttons, and they go right through the actual upholstery itself. Oh dear, how are we going to cope with that? No problem, because the button on this side is matched to a little tag on the other side. And they send these through with a big needle, and you can poke it through and sort this out yourself if you don't want the factory to do it. How do you get to the foam? Well, on some products, I'm afraid you have to unpick all the stitching, and that's when it is probably best to go to the factory. But more and more now are providing seating systems for caravans with, here it is, look, a nice zip that goes right the way along the length. And now it's very easy to get to the inside. What can we say next? Well, high density foam is the best, and it's costly. Don't forget you can do sandwich mixes as well to get a bit of hard and a bit of soft. And do you know you can even get mattresses made up? You know those double beds that so many caravans have now? If one partner likes really quite a firm foam and the other one likes a softer bed, they will make a blend to suit each person using that bed. There's one last point, and that's the business of safety. A few years ago, there were some terrible fires when this kind of foam went up in smoke, especially in one or two gymnasia in sports centres, and the fumes were dreadful. And so there was legislation passed which caused the caravan industry on the 1st of March 1990 to insist that all new caravans had a fire-resistant product like CMF, which stands for Combustion Modified Foam. Replacing the stuff, you don't have to replace it all, but if you do sit down, and here's a technical term coming up, and crash, your bottom hits the wood below or the slats and underneath, that's called bottoming out. And that's clearly a time when you need to top it up or to replace it, and that's easy to do in the winter. So there we go. Why should you sleep in a state of discomfort? Why should you worry about the seats if they're too sloppy? Get the job done now.